Hello everyone, and welcome to Unreal Stories, where the unbelievable becomes real. Tonight's story takes us to Australia, where one of the most disturbing crimes in the country's history took place. A crime so brutal that the judge handed down a sentence that had never before been given to a woman in Australia. Katherine Knight was born in 1955 in New South Wales. From the very beginning, her life was filled with violence and misery. She grew up in a household plagued by alcoholism, domestic abuse, and neglect. Her parents fought constantly, her older siblings treated her harshly, and the community despised her family's reputation. Despite all this, Katherine dreamed of one day building a loving family of her own, the kind of family she never had. But as she grew older, the violence of her childhood followed her. Every relationship she entered was marked by abuse, jealousy, and anger. It seemed she didn't know how to love without violence. In her 40s, Katherine met John Price, a hard-working man and father of 3. Unlike the others, John was kind, steady, and genuinely cared for her. His daughters even liked Katherine, and for a short while, she believed she had finally found the family life she longed for. But cracks soon appeared. Katherine desperately wanted marriage. John, scarred from a previous failed marriage, refused. Their fights grew worse, sometimes violent. In February 2000, during one particularly heated argument, Katherine slashed him with a knife. That incident marked the beginning of the end. A few days later, Katherine decided to win him back in her usual way, by creating a romantic evening. She sent his daughters away, dressed in lingerie, and prepared herself to surprise him. But John was furious when he realized she had entered his house and interfered with his children without permission. That night, John went to bed exhausted after work. Katherine, however, wasn't done. In the middle of the night, she returned with a set of butcher's knives, tools she was well practiced with from her job at the local slaughterhouse. As John slept, Katherine climbed on top of him and plunged the knife into his chest. He woke in agony, managed to stumble toward the front door, leaving blood smeared on the frame as he tried to escape. But he never made it outside. Katherine dragged him back in and stabbed him 36 times, leaving him to bleed to death. What followed was beyond comprehension. She expertly skinned his body, removing the flesh in one piece, and hung it from a doorway like a curtain. She decapitated him and boiled his head in a pot on the stove. She carved up the rest of his body, cooking the meat into dishes she placed on the dining table. In front of each plate, she set a card with the name of one of John's daughters. Her plan was to serve them their father's flesh. When police arrived the next morning, the scene was like something out of a horror film. Blood everywhere. A dinner table, set with human remains, and Katherine unconscious in the living room, having overdosed on pills in a failed suicide attempt. She survived, and in court, she showed no remorse. The judge sentenced her to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, marking her as the first woman in Australian history to receive such a punishment. To this day, Katherine Knight remains behind bars, a chilling reminder of how far human cruelty can go.